All right, episode 198. Today, it's as good as last week's show, maybe even better.
Maybe better.
NAR is under fire. We're going to break that down as well as we can right now.
Right now.
Nice.
All right, episode 198. This is going to be as good as last week's show, if not better. And if you didn't listen to last week's show, 197, we talked about the Keller Williams profit share. It went 95% gone. We can't say gone forever or just gone. It's 95% gone. And that's still a hot topic. I'm still seeing people post.
Tons.
It's like they're late to the game. I'm still seeing.
Well, the game is still being played.
Yeah, exactly. And for those of you new listening to our show, my name is Nick Good. To my left is Brian Force. Across from me is Matt Kelderman. Ooh, never mind. He didn't make it today.
Didn't make it today.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's all right. Look, today's show is we're going to break down NAR's Under Fire. They've been in the news a lot the last couple of years.
Jeez.
And this is not the type of news you want to be getting out at the moment.
No, what was the
Especially
last
at the
thing?
moment.
Yeah, what was the last thing we talked about? We talked about the fees going up.
Fees going up.
I still do want to break some of that down because someone
Commission
made a
lawsuits.
post.
If you parlay the fees going up with today's topic, it is not looking good.
No.
Don't forget about the commission lawsuits.
Yeah, the
Jeez,
commission
we
lawsuits.
talked about that too.
Yeah, like now we know where our dues are going to, but we have to pay our dues to our sponsor.
Boom.
So our favorite lender, Mortgage Mike. If you're needing that Mortgage Mike stamp of approval, just give them a call. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to give you a today example of what Mortgage Mike is doing. We have Elizabeth has a buyer that's under contract on a new build.
Nice.
And this buyer was using a big bank that was giving them a great rate and a $5,000 credit.
Okay.
Right? The builder's lender was giving a $7,000 incentive, but the interest rate was higher. And we get into the contract. We're about 3 weeks in. And all of a sudden, this big bank says, ooh, sorry, you're no longer actually qualified.
Oh, no.
Because they didn't actually go through the entire process. Yeah. Mortgage Mike was underwriting it, and within seconds was like, I don't know how they approved this in the first place, and sent out a conditional approval letter. But he's going through the processes and shopping and everything around and has found some ways to still save this buyer so this person doesn't lose their $3,000 deposit. That is hard. It's non-refundable. And so Mortgage Mike is solving all the world's problems. Just go to mmgloans.com. I still hate that. I hate that website. Mortgage Mike.
Come on, Mortgage Mike.
mmgloans.com. So Mortgage Mike of Texas. And then get that home warranty.
Yeah.
Even if it's a new build. So we can talk about it, Theron. Thank you so much.
Hey,
Yes.
Armadillo home warranty.
Yeah, you want that hard shell protection, just go talk to Theron Smith over at Armadillo Home Warranty. It's armadillo.1/Tor, T-O-R-E. And then my last two sponsors, Dana Wynn.
Dana, we got to come up with a cool nickname for Dana.
Dana the Closer Wynn? No.
The manager.
Dana the manager. Yeah.
The manager.
She is the manager
Yeah.
of 400-something properties now.
Yeah, 400 properties and growing over at Homeward DFW. Just go to homewarddfw.com if you're looking for a Dallas-Fort Worth property management company. She's the best at it. The Dallas-Fort Worth property management company. And then if you want to do a podcast just like this one, you want to get some reels getting going, Jesse was showing me the YouTube stats. They're looking really sexy. So go to torstudios.com. Tor Studios, T-O-R-E studios.com.
Boom.
All right. So
NAR, back in the news.
Yeah. I don't even know where to go with this because this is a very sensitive topic. Pull it up a little bit, Jesse, just so we can have it. So NAR, the head of a powerful real estate trade group. So this is from CNN Business.
Yeah.
So it's making all the, it's all the legit media now. It's not just Inman News.
Yeah, I mean, this started with a New York Times article.
Yeah, it was a New York Times article. So, president of a powerful realtors group is accused of sexual harassment, and an employee describes a culture of fear at the National Association of Realtors, so NAR.
My first takeaway from this article is the picture. I didn't realize that the National Association of Realtors was headquartered in Jersey.
Didn't it used to be in Chicago?
I
What's the
thought it was
realtor
always
building
Chicago.
in Chicago?
They probably got more than one building. Again, where are our dues going?
It's true.
Should we just make a shirt?
It's got all these buildings. Yeah.
Yes.
Where's the money going? Oh, man. Well, dang. We've seen this time and time again at different companies, different organizations, sports teams. The Mavericks had this, right? I don't even know where to start.
I don't get it. I'm just like, first off, like these big groups is like, don't they have all this training and, the fact that it's still happening, and just these dudes doing this. I mean, literally in the New York Times article, it's quote, one woman said the man put his hands down his pants in front of her. It's just like, come on, guys.
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Yeah. Like,
I am always fascinated by the personality profile. Is this a certain personality profile of somebody who can ascend to like really good professional heights, but they develop like an untouchable ego?
Probably.
Right?
yeah.
Is
But
that part of it?
untouchable, you're president of NAR.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even that cool. But
Yeah, it's not anything. It's not. And so it's just built up. It's mentally built up facade there. So
$1 billion.
the president of the National Association of Realtors, how the New York Times put it is a powerful nonprofit organization with more than $1 billion in assets that controls access to nearly every American home listing.
Yeah, and then it says that part of it was he was sending lewd photos and texts, which just feels like if you're already going to be a piece of crap or you're going to be inappropriate. I don't know all the facts, so I'll just say you're going to be inappropriate. Like in this day and age, you got to be better than just like blatantly documenting your inappropriate behavior. That seems so like fundamental. Like that'd be like filming yourself robbing a bank. It doesn't make any sense. And I find that these people, NAR or otherwise, you ever watch like how they catch serial killers and it was always some like just dumb thing they did?
Yeah.
I always am so fascinated by like the guy that gets popped for being like really horribly inappropriate towards women, and it was like all photos and text. It's like you're just putting on terrible behavior in writing. What are you doing? Goofball.
Well, the biggest thing that I see from this is and I don't know this, as we look more and more into this, is that, you probably don't have to go out on a very far limb here to say, is there any cover up, right? We've seen this at big brokerages. We've seen it at both brokerages that we are a part of has experienced this at the high executive leadership level. And so it does say this, right? So so in the New York Times, it says within the organization known as NAR and its affiliates, 29 employees and former leaders told the New York Times that even after years of complaints of sexual harassment, discrimination, and retribution by the NAR president and other leaders, little had changed.
And that culture thing we talk about, right? This might not be the place for like two beards and a mustache to have this conversation, but like, is it not somehow sort of horribly ironic in an industry that is, majority of salespeople are women, and female safety in this industry has been at the forefront for decades, right? And creating a culture of creating and building a business and having a noble living, and also keeping yourself safe, not just physically, but from harassment and things like that. And to have an actual culture at the top that it sounds like 29 people said is a really toxic, inappropriate culture. It's a bad tone to set.
Well, and I think it's okay that, you don't have a beard anymore. Like, did you just shave that?
Yeah, a couple days ago.
Yeah, just going with the stash, huh?
What happens is that when you want to keep your mustache, but you your beard starts behind the mustache. You get the weird half beard, but mostly mustache, and it looks your mustache stands out even more. It's a very strange look, so I had to clean it up.
Okay, so a beard and a stash, and actually Jesse behind there with no camera. But I think it's okay. Actually, it's probably best for us to talk about this because it needs to. We need to do better.
We've all run businesses. I mean, your diversification is quite even.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I've run a team almost dominated by women.
Right.
I mean, Jesse, we've had times where we've had 3 guys and 40 women in our business, right? And so it's your responsibility as a leader to set the pace for the culture, right? If anybody is going to get, this type of implication, you would hope it is not the person who is the preeminent driver of the entire, every aspect of the business. You would think that the buck stops there, not starts there. And that's mad disappointing.
Yeah.
Because, you couldn't judge NAR as a whole by any one person's actions, but you would hope that if there were these type of allegations that become from maybe somebody from middle management or lower, the CEO, it's a very disappointing.
And maybe we should make clear that these are allegations, right? So, innocent till proven guilty.
Sure.
So we'll
have all the facts.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know, the full story here. That there's 3 sides to a story, and so these are all allegations. So allegedly that stuff happened.
Yeah.
And we're not the person to point all the fingers. But I do, with every single punch that NAR is taking.
Yeah.
Right? Eventually, the conversation needs to be, let's do better. How do we improve this? Because for the longest time, this is how my view of NAR, and we've been pretty outspoken about, number one, what we don't even know what it does. And we've been realtors for a long time.
Yeah, look, I mean, we're kind of like the Beatles. We're not starting the riot. The riot is following us around. We're just making the music.
And so to me, it has always seemed like NAR has fallen on, at least regardless of this right now, let's set that aside, of NAR Under Fire Again, that the way that NAR has kind of maybe made changes or made moves or some of their votes have not always been in light of actually favoring the real estate agents, and more so along the lines of just making sure they're just protecting their membership.
Yeah, and I think that's really, kind of like where this conversation takes. Look, we're not going to talk about the sexual harassment suit all day. That honestly, that's going to play out how it's going to play out. It's super disappointing. I think it's a bad mark on all of NAR. But it is a conversation that then 66%.
Yeah, so it says in that New York Times article, this is exactly, real estate skews heavily female. 66% of NAR's members are female. So. Yet its current top leaders are mainly men.
Can you scroll down just a second to, I guess the next paragraph, okay. I don't know. That's not always, I don't want to get too deep in the weeds on that. I don't know how old this dude is, because I'm all for real, whatever happened, if it was bad, it's bad. But then there's the paragraph in there around should people be called sweetheart or honey? And I think that's a whole different thing. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the dude's a million years old. I have no idea. But there's some really bad examples in here of pretty bad behavior. So
no, exactly.
I don't want to let anybody off the hook either.
But how again, if you were, let's put us in a situation that if we were called up from the minors into the majors to take over NAR and help, maybe reposition it. Other than we probably need to understand maybe I'm wrong on this, that they're more of a lobby group.
They are the second most well-funded lobbyist group. And that is, they're not like a company.
Yeah. Right?
Which is, I think, an important distinction to make.
Technically a nonprofit.
They're a nonprofit that acts as a super PAC.
Yeah.
Very influential. But it also comes, we've talked about, NAR 3 different times this year. I think the conversation as we're having it right now is this is a turbulent event or whatever series of events that has been reported, a culture that's not great, it sounds like, and what again is the net
benefit to the industry. And I'm not saying that there isn't one. What I am saying is that it feels like most realtors cannot articulate that super well. And I don't think that it's too much to ask that, maybe we have, a bit more clarity on where the benefit of things like, $41 million in marketing and millions of dollars in salaries and things like that and raised fees and stuff, I guess where they're going. And that's not even to be critical. I just genuinely don't know. And, the stories like this just kind of bring more attention to an organization that it may not always feel is like living up to its value proposition. But I don't even know exactly what the value proposition is necessarily. What was the thing that everybody got really mad about NAR and Zillow a few years back? That was the big one, right? That's the one that everybody always.
I can't remember that one, but I am looking at an Inman article right now that it's an opinion letter by Brad Inman, and it talks about the cover up, the circle the wagons, pounce on the critics, which is NAR's MO. And he does talk about towards the bottom of this article here that the handling of the recent sexual harassment charges is evidence of how dysfunctional the system is, because again they just kind of sweep things under the rug, and NAR has never faced more tricky market, political and legal issues. So a changing of the guard is a necessary first step. So
well, maybe this
how
is
much
good,
harder,
right? People speaking out.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that we just asked here is, if it were to change, number one, if I were to see a change, I want to see it to help, put really to better the real estate agent industry in terms of allowing us to run this as legit businesses. Like, okay. I feel at times that there's restrictions on how we can market. Right, without getting into discrimination.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Well, we're actually not even talking about discrimination. Like, you can get popped for something as silly as how big your logo is in regards to a different logo, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's all types of stuff like that. So yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of stuff that doesn't seem to benefit the agent or the individual business owner that I think is important to consider. But I mean, if this is the changing of the guard that's necessary, then I certainly applaud people that are brave enough to speak out on any of this type of thing. I think this is a monumental step in the right direction if all of these things are true. Google do the Zillow thing that I was talking about before. I want to just bring it back again to there's been quite a few. Okay. Zillow kicks into high gear. There was there's the end. Jeez, there are so many freaking lawsuits.
Which one are you talking about?
You Google NAR and Zillow, and it's like these guys have been
when we look
lawsuits
at this,
left and right.
Look, when we look at this all as when you become a large organization like this, you probably do have to have a large legal chest, a war chest.
Yeah. People will make a living just trying to sue you.
Yes, and so. But my concern is these types of is NAR prepared, financially for these types of lawsuits, and two is how does this impact? I know that there's been some talk. I think our dues went up. Didn't we talk about that? Yeah, we talked about that. So our dues went up. What? Last month or last quarter or something like that, and they're continuing to look at raising them, and so and that's where that message falls on deaf ears, or just kind of they're out of touch with reality when we're talking about, number one, we're losing a lot of membership, we're losing agents because the market has in the economy and everything has changed, but we're still going to raise dues. By the way, we're going to raise dues. We know things are tough. We know that transactions are down. We're in this new term, the rolling recessions. Rolling recession, the new term.
The new term, and then anything that anytime you need to raise your prices, you just blame inflation.
Yeah, or COVID.
Yeah.
COVID and it's COVID and inflation. Yeah. So, when we look at all this, is everything just falls on deaf ears, and one of the conversations or one of the articles I was just browsing through on Inman, it just talks about even the messaging about this, what's happening right now with NAR is that even their messaging of getting, I guess, out in front of this would be the best way to put it.
Sure.
Is kind of muddied. Like it's not clear.
No.
Yeah, they haven't done a good job of.
It's deny.
He made a statement. That was about it. But he did the.
Well, of course, he's going to make a statement as he should.
But
and again, that
get out in front of it.
From a NAR representative, that we should start to see. Hey, more than likely they should distance from that. You don't see. It's kind of like you go back to referencing like sports, like the Mavericks. You don't see them standing behind that person right away.
No, they're pretty quick to separate.
Yes, right. So look, we'll let it go through the legal process, and we'll let this play out. But at the same time, we don't condone any of this type of behavior, and now we need to see how it's in the hands of the lawsuit of the jury and the judge and the attorneys.
Okay, so the president is a woman, and she's stepping in.
She's the new president.
She's the new president.
So this is probably brand new, right? So he just resigned.
Yeah, he resigned either yesterday or today.
So she steps in.
Yep.
Where does she come from? Berkshire.
Yeah, I think that's what I saw.
Man, well, how do you get up the ladder? Just out of curiosity, you
It's a volunteer. So that's
you got to start local.
Yeah, local. It's all volunteer.
How do you skip a few rungs? I don't want to do local stuff.
Nah.
I mean, I think you can start running. You can put your hat in the ring and everything else.
I'm gonna just start running for chairman.
What if we just put our hat in the ring to become the official podcast for NAR?
Why don't we just start saying we are? Be like, look, you guys got enough lawsuits to deal with. Don't start throwing stuff back this way.
I mean, then do we have to change our messaging and just make it just NAR homers?
You'd be like, look, guys, he didn't do anything.
Yeah, not on that. Absolutely not. But I mean, look, even the White House has its own communication staff.
Its own media department.
Yeah. So we just become the NAR media
it's
department.
All propaganda.
Yeah.
Media
100%.
relations.
We're all just wearing nicer clothes, and we're like, I'm glad we upped our dues. It's somehow come back to us.
Yeah. No, 100%. So, look, I just see this as a way. Number one is that it needs to play out, and it's absolutely the fact that this stuff is still happening is insane.
Yeah.
And second is that this is now, with everything there stacked on the table, it's time to look at what NAR 2.0 or maybe 3.0 should look like.
Yeah, I think so.
And how does it truly become a better voice for the agents? Because that's what I always thought NAR was for.
Well, I mean, on paper, right? That is what it's supposed to be for. And it did it say 100 years of NAR or something in one of those?
Yeah, they've been around for a long time.
That's why their preamble, the language in it was so funny.
So weird.
You just pulled it up a second ago, and it was like, everything the light touches.
Yes.
It was written so old school. It was very funny. Yeah, I mean, I think they need to be more effective in what they do, more transparency, obviously, and I think just more of a friend and an ally to the agent, because especially this time right now, we need as many allies as we can get. That's the economy, that's the market, that's everything right now.
Yeah, and I wish Kelderman was here for this part, because you're able to you're able to play on Kelderman individual agents. We run teams, and to be able to see what would that look like in terms of a NAR 3.0, and using this to to again just be our letting to make sure the voices are heard.
I agree 100%. So hopefully there's shakeups coming and better days ahead for NAR. Wish the organization nothing but the best as far as the relationship with the agents and mutual benefit moving forward.
You're just looking for filler words now, bro.
Yeah. Mutual benefit is the best filler word.
Yeah, I think you're over here just I just wish you the best.
No, I think that we've said
it's like we're breaking up with them.
Well, not all of them.
What do you? Not all of them?
Oh no, just
Oh, just
that.
No, I
Yeah,
get what you're
not
saying.
all.
Yeah.
Is it weird that the man who's accused of these inappropriate behaviors runs a real estate team
Okay.
at Equity Realty?
Well, they're
I saw
all.
this.
Shouldn't they all be?
Yeah.
In my opinion,
I
like
didn't know that those people who is the new press secretary. I don't know, but if that job is open,
yeah.
We're gonna find out.
Rebecca, you have it.
right?
Done.
Like, okay, so you still are in production as a?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I mean, I guess you can be.
I mean, look, that was one thing that I know we've already done a show on this.
Yeah.
But I really, really wish I could find someone posted this, and I was like, doggone it, I should have screenshotted it because it was where, like, it was like, no wonder why our dues have gone up. And you know what? I did not screenshot it. But like, I saw the salaries. The salaries for
Pretty big.
Really, I mean, pretty big.
That's why I was asking if you were still in production.
I mean, we could be co-presidents of it and just split the salary. I'd be
Dude,
fine
yeah,
with that.
I'll take 50% of the salary.
Yeah,
we won't harass anyone.
But then I saw the
nothing like a good running motto.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I said it on camera, and also undefeated and not being accused of it.
yes, and so then I looked at what they're spending their money on, and they've got like a contract for media, like spending on media, $41 million.
Oh yeah, it's a lot, dude.
I'm
It's a
like,
lot.
wait, where's that going? Because
I've seen like one realtor commercial. I don't think it was a
seen a
$41
few.
million commercial. It wasn't 300 or anything.
and I've heard them on like Pandora and some of those, and it's just like,
I mean,
it
I
doesn't, it wouldn't make me if I'm just thinking like, oh, I need to use a realtor.
I just
Real.
feel like if I had $41
Real.
million, Pandora wouldn't be my strategy. But
Well, they're going to like, maybe because they're young. Aren't most of the younger crowd listening to that? Is
No.
that the
I don't think they listen to Pandora.
Spotify?
Chime in the comments if you think the young people do.
Yeah, the radio.
Well, first off,
ads.
we can't say chime in the comments because I did a post in our Facebook group, the only real estate group worth being a part of.
Right.
Did you see? I said, how long have you been a licensed real estate agent? Did you see that the majority, like, we don't have a lot of newbies in there.
No.
No,
There's a lot of like 10+ year.
we need some
agents
fresh
in there.
blood.
Yeah.
Y'all are getting old.
Yeah, we're right there with you. Yeah, and so I don't think we could have people chime in the comments on that one because it's if I'm spending the $41 million goes towards
That is so much.
yeah.
How much, Jesse, does the average commercial cost? This is just kind of a side note. I just don't know how much commercials cost. I've seen a few NAR ones, and then like the radio stuff. But like, I just want to get some sort of scope of like how much.
And
does
don't
that
you
type of
think
stuff
that
cost?
the radio ones and the like you could just maybe just get that from the video recording?
Yeah,
You're like,
just-
how do we
That's what
make
some
a
of them
video
do.
It's just
one
like if you-
and the radio?
Like if
is-
you're listening to this podcast on Apple Podcasts right now,
yeah,
this is
or Spotify.
audio
or
on
Spotify.
Spotify or Pandora.
Are we on Pandora?
I don't think
I don't
Pandora
think so.
has podcasts. That's probably why you shouldn't run ads there.
Because we're not on there.
Exactly. Okay. It's ad production can cost anywhere from $1,000 to $50,000.
Yeah, that's generic. So
yeah,
at the
that's
same
pretty
time,
generic.
you already know that they probably look. I mean,
That seems light.
41 million. Who knows? How long have they been a contractor vendor of NAR?
Yeah.
There's probably some. I'm not gonna.
I bet Tour Studios could make a nice $50,000.
We do it for
commercial.
at least
50.
50.
And Theron's right. And Rebecca's right. Actually, Rebecca's all right on everything. They need to spend their media dollars
Way to go,
smarter.
Rebecca.
That's you're not on.
Are they on YouTube?
You're not incorrect. I just think people watch TV differently.
That's true.
No, they use their eyes.
Yes, they
Not
still
anymore.
So
use their
that's
eyes.
still the same. So you're absolutely wrong.
I just meant like advertising is worked in differently.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's
You're like, man, you got me.
well,
Yeah,
either
yeah.
you're cheap like me and you do the cheaper version of Hulu, so you're like fine watching 3 minutes of commercials for every 15 minutes of like Desperate Housewives that you get, or there's like banner ads or trailer ads.
I mean,
they work it in differently.
Most people don't watch TV anymore, or they're watching YouTube. Like I know the younger, like the actually I don't even know what Addie watches. I think she just TikToks.
Yeah, they just watch their phones.
Yeah.
I watch TV. Like if I'm gonna watch anything, I'll either read or watch TV.
Well,
I don't like.
Addie has a TV, so she's 16. Addie has a TV in her room,
Yeah.
but I went in there the other night, and she's watching a show, but not on TV. on her laptop, sitting on her chest. And I was like,
Just blasting that blue light into her eyes.
well, I think she has blue light blocker
Oh,
glasses
okay.
on.
Well, that's smart.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I don't understand it. Your TV
Makes no
is
sense.
bigger. It's right up there.
So I'm more comfortable to just lay back and
Yes.
relax.
Well, you can still lay back. The TV's.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is like, don't have the laptop on you.
Yeah, I didn't understand it.
Just relax.
But
It's crazy.
I've seen
Kids
that.
these days.
Yeah.
Kids, they don't understand. She probably doesn't know what the TV is. She's like, Dad, that thing is on my dresser.
Yeah. It's on the wall.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whoa, y'all are rich. See, like, I mean, advertising has changed for sure.
Yeah.
Have y'all seen movies are coming back though? Like Oppenheimer's really big, Barbie's really big. We're starting to get really big movies again, which I'm excited about. When I was younger, when
The
I was
only
like,
movie
in my earlier
podcast
30s.
worth listening to.
Yeah, right. It is. I just
Remember when
like,
we used to do movie reviews?
we did used to do movie reviews, and they were fantastic. And I miss doing that type of stuff.
That was when the beginning of the show started and the growth really took off.
It did. It was probably
Yes, Darren, she was watching old tour podcast videos.
the old stuff.
Yeah.
The hits, right?
Do you think that if anybody's going back and watching it, which ones are you watching? The studio one or are you watching the StreamYard version?
Oh, I can't even stomach this. You mean the Be Live?
Yeah.
I can't even stomach watching.
Oh,
the
Be Live. I forgot about
version.
Be Live.
I don't
Yeah.
think I could stomach scrolling back that far and doing it.
I went
don't-
back to this first few.
Yeah,
It was a treat.
yeah. I don't want to watch the earlier versions.
It's like as an agent, you go back and watch an agent who has gotten really big, maybe on the social media reels,
Yeah.
or has done really well on YouTube, and you go back and watch. Or maybe anybody in general, you go back and watch your beginning stuff,
Yeah,
and it's just so cringeworthy.
I showed.
But you made it, and you're like, I nailed that one.
Nailed it.
I
Do you remember-
crushed it.
Do you remember I showed like my old YouTube videos at a
Yep.
team meeting one time? I was like, if y'all are like hesitant about putting content out, watch this knucklehead and the crap I used to put out on YouTube back in like 2015.
Got his button-up shirt buttoned
man.
up to his belly button, and it's just completely open above that.
I was always pretty suave,
Yeah.
but I made the goofiest stuff.
And so if that's, look, if that stuff works, it just, anybody can make
Just
it.
do
on
it.
this. And
Have
so-
confidence. Have fun with it.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, from that, movies are coming back. So, if from a NAR spending, maybe they just need to put more realtors in movies.
Maybe we are unrepresented in movies, by the way.
Yeah, not in the show. Like what was Modern Family?
Modern Family was a good
He
step
did
in
a
the right
great
direction.
job showing how.
Yeah,
good.
but he was like the dumbest character on the show.
Yeah, but he
Was
sold
it
a lot of
American-
houses.
American Beauty, right?
American Beauty. Oh yeah. Wait, who's
His-
his wife?
His wife.
His wife is a realtor.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. Okay, that's two.
Just
Yeah,
two.
I don't
And then he's just not that into you.
know what that
The
one
little
is.
redhead guy from Entourage is a realtor.
in real life.
Probably now. Now he's got all
Because
that
now the problem is we've
Entourage
got like
money.
Selling Sunset, and we've
Yeah.
got, we've got what
The Money Pit is a great movie.
is that a realtor?
It's Tom Hanks. Who's the girl in Money Pit?
I have no idea.
It's a good movie. It's
what that
fun.
I don't know what that is.
Well,
either.
there's a realtor in the movie. They buy like a fixer-upper,
Hmm.
but it's a real fixer-upper.
It's haunted.
No, it's just in terrible shape,
Hmm.
and it affects their marriage.
Did the realtor
lots of
have the
hijinks.
seller disclose any of the?
I don't dive that into it.
Huh.
I think it's
Probably wouldn't have bought it if they.
I think it takes place in like
had a better
upstate New
realtor.
York,
Hmm.
Chicago.
Yeah.
same thing.
Anyway, yes, we are. What were we just talking about before that?
We're not
We're
represented.
not. We're
No,
definitely
in movies.
underrepresented.
Well, no, but no. I was selling Sunset.
Yeah,
And
or
stuff.
$1 Million Listing,
That stuff. Selling Sunset's not real though.
or
it?
House Hunters.
It's not.
Are
Oh,
the
God,
are
kill me
the
now.
are the deals real?
You're not allowed to ask that question.
No, you can't.
Yeah, I would say that 50-50.
You think 50-50?
Ashley.
We have a mutual friend
Santa Clarita Diet.
that okay. I've heard of that one.
What is that? Is
I
that
haven't
a
seen it.
movie?
That's where they're cannibals,
Yeah.
but I haven't seen.
Is
it.
Property Brothers? Are they buying it?
One of them's a realtor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he doesn't. I don't think he's still showing houses today.
No, they have like a
Probably
clothing line and everything.
Yeah.
Didn't one of them marry like a
Somebody
supermodel?
famous.
You think
Yeah.
he's still doing putting out his own open house signs on a Friday night
Would
to
that
get ready
be
for
like,
Saturday?
insane if you were driving through wherever in California or whatever
Well,
they
he's-
live?
he's
and
a
you're just like,
Canadian.
oh, they're Canadian?
Yeah.
Same thing.
They still live in Canada?
I don't know.
Probably not.
Let's get him on the show.
We should.
We should get the Property Brothers on the show. One at a time.
Oh,
5's a crowd.
Yeah.
I don't want both of them on at the same time.
Yeah.
I want to get a word in.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, we have to be careful about it because we did have Tarek on the show.
Yep.
And, he was supposed to get Heather from Selling Sunset on. So,
yeah. Who would be your favorite guest to get on the show?
ever?
Yeah, real estate, unreal estate, just whatever.
Oh, that's a good one.
It can't be living or dead. It has to be alive. It has to be.
Well, it can't be living or dead?
Well, sometimes.
So it has to be living.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like sometimes the question is like, who would you have lunch with? Living or dead?
No. I
think we should get Warren Buffett on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I could carry an hour-long combo with Warren though, because
I don't
then it
know
would
if you
have
have
to.
to,
Then it'd have to go with like, you drink sodas every day. How does it does it impact you? Like,
I think at this point, his life is so simple that it would almost be boring for all of us, including him. He'd be like, I've already given all the advice I'm going to give. It's well documented.
I mean, I would like to know why he
Right.
invested so much money in, what was it, NAR or DR Horton?
Yeah, the other day he got
Yeah.
into a new build.
he bought a new build,
No,
a DR
no.
Horton build.
No, he bought,
Good,
was
congratulations!
No, he got a
He's
big
finally out of that
position.
house.
Went with DHI mortgage. And
Look, I'm going to
everything.
give you two answers. I'm going to give you what I would love to expose this podcast to more people.
Okay.
Answer, which would be I would like to have Donald Trump on.
Oh,
The only reason it being is, did you see how many views? And
oh yeah.
let's go down a little alley here for a second. The media. Let's talk about the change in what people watching media wise. So the presidential debates, Republican debates, were on last week, right?
Oh, were they?
Yeah,
I got to get back into that.
yeah.
Really?
So it was last week.
Who won?
I fell asleep on it. That one's a tough one. I kind of like that. It was all kind of, they yelled at each other. I didn't really like any of them.
Are they all
But-
trying to do the Trump thing now?
No,
Oh, okay.
no. But Trump did a deal,
Trump.
an interview on with Tucker Carlson on X, formerly, which is formerly known as Twitter.
Yep.
That has over 300 million. Over 300 million. We're gonna have to up that sponsorship there, and you're gonna pigeonhole me as this.
Throwing
They had
out
300
darts.
million views of that 30-minute interview on X.
That's nuts. See, I don't think you have to qualify it at all, like just to get more views. I'd like to have Trump on just to talk to him. It seems like a crazy, interesting guy. Love him or hate him, he's a very unique personality. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so
Talking with that.
I wouldn't want Dave Ramsey on. I don't know if I 100% agree with Dave's stuff all the way.
Dave does a really good job of giving you basic fundamental
Yes.
principles to get out of debt.
Correct. Which works, 100%.
Which works.
Yeah, 100% of his stuff
But
works.
it's not sophisticated for you to build wealth, probably. I think Barbara Corcoran would be interesting.
She would
I
be
think it'd be good
I
fun.
think she's also
Yeah.
like,
I think it'll be a good one.
it wouldn't, for me, it was like, I don't know, she's a big personality. I feel like she'd bring a lot of her big personality.
And Trump you.
No, just like she is a brand. My passion is not talking to people who are brands. I want like real people. Not that she's not a real person.
I would say that I would love to have Mark Cuban on.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because, one, he's very opinionated on everything going on. Obviously brilliant.
Sure.
So I'd have Cuban on the show. If we're going down a path of just real estate related, that's a good, I don't even know.
I don't know who I'd have. Either. That's why I was legitimately asking.
I think we go with what we talked about, I think on last week's
Yep.
show, we get Glenn and Gary together and no holds barred.
I think
No
it'll be a killer
holds barred.
episode.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. You'd have to sandbag them and not know the other person was on.
Well, yeah, you just, it's in person, right? So they just show up and then all of a sudden.
God. That would be amazing.
Do you think, but that's the thing, though. I guess what I'm saying is like, does Mark Cuban have a lot to contribute that he hasn't already so publicly like shared so many times? Like we see Mark Cuban everywhere. He's great. He's great.
Sure.
But like, is the value that he's going to bring to this show?
You know what I mean? Like something that's so.
I would love to get his insight of just like, again, there's a lot of large personalities or just celebrities or big time entrepreneurs who are not always on the housing boat train in terms of buying real estate as a smart investment. So I just like to hear their thought. Like Grant Cardone is one of them. He doesn't advise most people to buy a house to live in for themselves. He talks about buying real estate as an investment, but believes that you should rent and use that down payment money to go and invest in real estate.
There's mixed reviews on that, but I know what you're talking about. Not Gary Vee. He's not coming on the show.
I'd get Gary Vee on.
I'm just kidding. I'd hate on Gary Vee too much. That dude works super hard. His energy is weird to me. He gives me weird energy. Let me ask you this. Who would you want to have on if you got the behind closed doors version of them? That's what I want on the show. We're never going to have it, but mine would be...
Now that you put it out there, geez.
No, mine would be like, what if we got Jerome Powell after 10 whiskeys? Just like, he's like, bro, I don't know anything. Like, tell me. Like, I'm telling you, we have no idea what we're doing. And he's just off the rails.
But
I would love that.
Would you really love to hear that, or would that then because it's like
would confirm some things.
It would definitely confirm some things. But it's almost like you want to believe in somebody or what they're doing, and they have that knowledge and expertise so well that you don't want that image of them being ruined.
Yeah, that's fair. Like you want to believe that you're like that's true. You don't want you don't want the glass shattering moment where you're
it's
like, oh my gosh.
It's kind of like I think I heard someone talk about we know that they know that we know and that they know that the government is spying on people.
Right.
But
Thanks, Facebook.
they've never confirmed it.
Right.
They've never confirmed it.
Jerome would say that.
Yeah.
Just in the middle of his rants, he'd be like, by the way.
Or like if you got Biden and Biden's like, no, I can look at anything you're doing, Brian, and he names something off, and you're like, now this confirms it, and now you just have this completely even worse distrust.
Maybe we should. Maybe that'd be a dream. Is just to get sober Biden, who's not being told what to say, and just let him talk for an hour, and we'll just
see
listen.
what actually comes out.
And we're like, oh my gosh! Like, shut his mic off.
I would just love to turn a show into just interviewing big guests like that. Like,
that'd be cool.
And just let it free flow and seeing what types of what type of gold would someone drop that we could, just extract and then utilize it to, one, better ourselves and then better our listeners. And I think we just change it. It's no longer the only real estate podcast worth listening to. It's just the only interviewer podcast worth listening to.
I mean,
if we did that,
why can't it just be the only podcast worth listening to?
Yes. Ooh.
That's pretty gutsy. I like it. If we did that, we would need. We should fly somebody out. We get a good guest.
How much is that going to cost?
Well, it depends on where they're coming from. I don't know who the guest is yet. We'll fly them Southwest. They'll be in the Group C.
Can we get the Tom Force friends and family discount?
Dude, I don't even get that anymore, dude. Try to fly American these days. It's not what it used to be.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't even know where to go with that. Like, there's so many people that come.
Yes.
Like, what is that? Are you guys in Michigan?
Don't reveal our location. I don't need people showing.
I mean,
up here.
Yeah. I don't even know who Yes. We do need to have more guests on, and what we would like to ask is it's the same as when we got Armando Montalongo on, and then I know that I'm coming on the show. Perfect. Love it. We'll see you soon. And so,
hook us up.
What you were at my office today.
Yes.
Just hanging out.
Yes.
You got there before I did.
I did, in East Lansing, Michigan.
Didn't even know Brian texted me this morning because we're on a call. He's like, hey, I'm going to do the call from your office.
This is how much Nick knows. I'm sorry. I'm taking over the story. This is how much Nick knows about his own office. He's obviously never the first one there. I was like, what's the code to your front door? I'm here. I need to take the call that we're about to be on together. And he tells me the code. And I stand there for 5 minutes thinking, am I doing it wrong? And I was finally, it's not working. And he's like, oh, and he just gives me a totally different number. And then that works. So I was like, you don't even know you would be locked out of your own office if you were here on your own, left to your own devices.
So, I don't know We've been in Michigan our entire lives.
Yeah.
They're on.
You're also in Michigan. We hang out all the time.
Yeah.
Stop trying to pretend like we're somewhere else.
Yeah. It's a lot cooler up there than it is in Texas, is what I've heard.
You mean here than it is down there?
Yes,
in
yes,
Texas.
yes, yes. So I don't even know where I was going with that.
No, your office is, yes, I was at your office.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about Tarek.
Yes. And you just shot him a message.
That's how we got him on the show.
I know.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good, like,
That was an Instagram message.
yeah.
And because we had Armando on, and I'd said, hey, I just had Armando on. Would love,
Like,
check it out. Love
you
to.
going to let him show you up like that?
Yeah. No, I'd said, I think they used to, I guess, have some beef. Armando and Tarek did.
Well, like that A&E celebrity beef runs pretty deep.
And so that was what got Tarek on the show. And so I think we just started sliding in the bigger people's DMs.
Let's just continue to say that Armando and Tarek are talking shit about people and be like, did you hear what those guys said about you? Like, you need to be on our show
Yeah.
to clear your name. I think that's the way to do it.
Out of the two, which one was your favorite interview?
Well, we did Armando twice.
Yep.
Well, yeah. So I'm counting them together.
Okay. I will be honest, because I always am on the show. I think second Armando.
First off, that you're always on the show.
No, I'm always honest on the show.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm not going to be here next week. Second Armando was very good.
Was very good.
That was a very zen version of Armando, and I very much enjoyed that.
The second one.
He's an insightful guy, but also very energetic and passionate about what he does. You can tell he does not just lay around all day and think of ways to act like he's doing stuff. He is a grinder still, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah. So that
Not
was
unlike- not
that
like
was
yourself.
better than Tark's.
I would say that I liked that one a lot.
You can't have two favorite kids.
Okay, I'll give you this.
You had to save one episode.
I'd
They were
probably rather-
both episodes are hanging off of a cliff.
All right, here's the deal. I like that second episode better, but I'd probably rather hang out with Target in real life. It's close to my age.
Think so? How old's
You don't-
Armando?
I think he's older than Tarek. I think they're both older than me.
Yeah.
I
How old are
think-
you?
I'm not. Look, we're not talking about me. There you go. How old is Armando? He's 53. How old's Tarek? Tarek's 42, probably. Let's make that up. It's going to be... Whoa! That's creepy.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
I was listening.
See? It's close to my age. He'd probably be a little bit... We'd just be more relatable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll give him that.
Well, next week's show, maybe Brian should run for president. Stop straddling the fence and pick one.
NAR president.
Yeah, if you don't pick a lane, you get hit from both sides. I've heard that.
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah. Heard that on a podcast. Can't remember which one.
The only podcast worth listening to.
Yep,
That
the
was
only.
what it was.
So, starting next week, the only podcast worth listening to. Tune in. We might have some guests. Brian won't be here,
No, I won't.
so we might have to have a guest.
What are you doing workout wise right now?
Like, what do you mean?
Wait,
What is
who's
your-
the rapping realtor? I missed
Ooh,
this
I would
comment.
love to get
Is
the
it
rapping
rapping
realtor.
realtor?
Daryl?
You know,
what do
there's
you-
a tattoo realtor as well in Arizona.
Yeah, he's a KW guy.
Is he?
Yeah, saw my family reunion.
Yeah, we should get him on.
Probably could.
Yeah.
Can we get like the bit people, like the bit realtors, and like
All the bit realtors.
like bring them in?
What about the ghost realtor?
Like everybody does a
I
bit.
don't know what that is.
Oh, Google the ghost realtor. She was from that Comedy Central show.
Patrice said EXP.
Nope. EX. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Okay, do the ghost realtor.
The tattoo realtor's now EXP probably.
Oh, he used to be a KW. Ghost realtor. There you go. It's Sue Stanford is the ghost realtor.
And so, like, they just call the ghost.
No, she makes sure that your house isn't haunted. That's her bit.
Ooh.
You know what? I would, from a legal standpoint, I don't know. How do you make sure that it's not haunted, and then all of a sudden you're like, nope, this one's clear. We did all the things, and then
I feel like
you sell the house and they move in. You're like,
You
no,
gotta-
Sue.
it just depends on where the burden of proof is. You got to prove to me that's haunted.
Yeah,
You got to get the Ghostbusters in there.
It's
yeah.
true.
I feel like that's tough to prove something's
I don't
haunted.
know. I mean, there's the one in Florida that was the nudist realtor That was a whole.
Was that a real thing?
Yeah.
Who is the? There was one that was the red shoe realtor around here for a long time. Remember that?
Local.
I
Yeah.
remember
She
that.
put like red shoes on.
Was it
every
red
sign.
shoes and then was there a red hat one?
Something like that. Just like that's an interesting little bit.
Yeah.
You don't have to put hauntings on the seller's
Yes, you do.
disclosure.
You have to disclose if you're selling the house because it's haunted in Texas.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do. Look it up.
What? Jesse.
We're not in Texas. We're in Michigan, though.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Steven Diaz
Yeah,
is the
okay.
rapping realtor.
Steven Diaz.
Just doing bits.
Daryl, make the introduction, please. We would love to have that.
Do you
Yeah.
actually have to put if the house is haunted? That's why you're selling it. I've never run into
so.
this. That is real.
In Texas, do you have to disclose? So, haunted
Texas house haunted.
disclosure.
Oh shit.
Haunted house disclosure,
I
Texas.
bet. No. So check your state for it. Texas is not one of
Oh.
those states.
They just changed that law.
just changed
Actually, we
it.
don't know that. That's on a realtor's website.
Do Texans have a right to know if a
I
house
thought
is
it
haunted?
was.
Guys,
I think they just passed breaking news.
do you have a right to know if your house is haunted? Okay, I'm not going to get down the ghost rabbit hole right now because I know a lot of people are going to not like my feelings on it. But just if you like the house, see what happens.
So
I mean, if you remember, Jesse, really quick, like,
I'm not saying ghosts aren't real.
but Jesse, do you remember that show? I think it was on TLC. Like, they could sleep in it before buying it.
Wait,
I think
what?
it was-
I don't remember that.
yeah, I think it was TLC.
Does it?
They got to sleep one night in it before making a
But they
decision.
thought it
on
was haunted?
Yeah, let's go, Daryl.
No, I don't know about that, but
Let's get that hookup.
I mean, how would that be if you're selling your own home, right?
Yeah.
You're selling a home, and
People got to stay there for a night?
yeah, they got to write in there. Like, if you're actually representing a buyer and they're like, Brian, we want you to write it up in here that we need to sleep in it one night. We need to have one full day and night in that house before we decide if we're going to actually close or not.
If I'm selling,
That's the contingency.
if I'm selling the house,
yeah.
I might be okay with it. And
How many days on market have I been?
Yeah,
and
that's one of the variables.
I mean, there's so many.
It's also going to be some rules.
What kind of rules?
You're not doing certain stuff in the house before you own it.
Matt Paxton from Hoarders.
Matt
Is Matt
Paxton.
Paxton a real estate agent?
I have no
Matt
idea.
Paxton from Hoarders.
I don't know these people.
Have you ever watched Hoarders? I've never.
Did you
watched
know
it.
that guy from
Dude, I can't do
Cheaters
it. So
that
gross.
ran Cheaters?
Joey
was,
Greco?
He was a
He was
an
a
agent.
realtor.
I think he was in this DPR office.
What? See if Joey Greco was in this office. He got stabbed. Remember that?
Yeah, was that real?
Yeah, that was real.
Was it?
Some
so
of it-
Cheaters was actually a real show then.
Okay, so I have a buddy that was on Cheaters.
No, that's not, because I know a friend who was on there that got paid $500 to be on it.
Okay, so here's the deal with Cheaters. Like, my buddy was actually on it. His name is Chris Nichols. I don't know if I should have said that on real life. There was a real episode. I think it's staged. I'm pretty sure,
Well, if you get paid $500 to be on it, it's definitely staged.
but I think, I don't know how, this is years ago, but like, not everybody's in on it until later and they got to sign waivers and stuff. So, like, stuff still can go wrong. They're still trying to do some gotcha stuff. So, it's not like 100% fake. It's not 100% fake. Do Cheaters episode hockey guy really fast.
He was DPR.
He was DPR.
Yeah, I knew he was a DPR.
And
guy.
I think he really got stabbed on that boat. That was for real,
Yeah,
I think.
Wait, what am I doing?
Dude, Cheaters
Joey
episode hockey. That'd probably be enough.
stabbing.
Host gets stabbed came up was like, there you go.
Yeah,
That not Bill Burr.
yeah,
What?
it doesn't matter. He really
Yeah.
got stabbed. That was real.
But I think it's
Season
real.
1, episode
Yeah.
15.
Yeah.
I think we just, what we should do is anybody that had a show that's retired, now they've retired a real estate agent, bring them back.
Yeah, I wonder what he's doing. Dude, what's Joey? While we wrap this up, what's Joey Greco?
Stabbing was legit.
What's Joey Greco doing now?
I don't know.
Killing me.
Probably works at the Fed. Wouldn't that be bananas?
With Powell.
He looks good.
Yeah.
What's he doing?
Oh, he's slinging the XP.
Yeah, that'd be amazing if he was. Man. I always wonder what these guys are doing. His last thing was in 2017. What's Joey Greco doing now?
There was a Netflix show.
Yeah.
So
That's the last thing.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Well, next week Brian won't be here.
Well, let's get Joey
Bro, we could super get Joey Greco on.
Do you think that the Cheater Show helped his real estate business or hurt it? Would you list your house with Joey just because he was the co-host and producer of Cheaters?
Does he not do his due diligence?
I mean, do you think he'll always be following? You've always got cameras. You're looking out the window.
The dude digs deep. He's gonna find the dirt on that home. Seriously, I'm not gonna let this go. Can someone help us find Joey
Ashley
Greco
probably can.
and get him on the show? That would be incredible.
Ashley can help out. So.
He's who we're getting in studio. It's not a far. He can drive. He probably lives here still.
Yep.
That was all filmed here.
In Michigan?
Yeah, Michigan.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
shit.
all right, great show today. Check out last week's show if you're really interested in the Keller Williams profit share dilemma, debacle, problem, issue,
Just event, thing.
Yeah,
that's happening.
It's the thing that's happening.
At least for now.
Yeah.
Who knows what the future holds?
We almost broke the news on that one too.
We did. We were pretty close.
Were we the first podcast to break it?
Definitely.
Probably.
Yeah, I would say so.
That I know about. The only one that I listened to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I only listen to the show.
So episode 197. Go look it up.
Check it out.
This one's in the books. Go support Mortgage Mike. mmgloans.com. mmgloans.com if you want that Mortgage Mike stamp of approval. He's licensed here in Texas and Oklahoma. Theron Smith over at Armadillo. So get that hard shell protection on your client's house with the right warranties. Got that one-page contract. So armadillo.one.
They'll even bring out a seance and get the ghosts out.
That's right. Armadillo.one//tour, TORE. And then Dana Wynn, Homeward Property Management. So homewarddfw.com,
and
the property management company of Dallas and DFW and Texas.
And other places.
And soon to come to you.
Somewhere.
Yeah. Tour Studios. Check it out. TourStudios.com.
TORE Studios.com.
I don't know how to get. We can't end the show because
we're literally going to be sitting here until
Kelderman.
next week.
Wait, is Kelderman here? No, he's not.
Geez.
Oh, I thought I saw him.
I guess we're stuck here.
Yeah.
I have no idea how to get out of this now.
But you're not here next week.
I'm not here next week. I'll be in
Michigan. Hey, thank you for watching. We truly appreciate it, checking out another episode of the Only Real Estate Podcast worth listening to. If you're watching this on YouTube, please go ahead, hit that share button, hit that like button, and hit the subscribe button. Right? We're dropping more stuff on YouTube constantly. If you're on iTunes, leave us a review, please. We're really, really focused on building up those reviews so we can get more searchable content on there. And if you're on Facebook, like everyone else is, go over and search the only real estate group worth being a part of. You're going to want to go join that group. I'm telling you right now, there's so much gold in there. So go join, share us on YouTube, and leave us that iTunes review, please. Go do it right now. We'll see you on the next show.